Streaming is Annette McCoy, and you're watching Angel Heart Radio. And with me, as always, at this time of the month is Marney Perna. Welcome, Marney.
Thank you, Annette. Welcome.
Thank
Lovely
you.
to be
Welcome
back.
Everybody who happens to be watching. And as always, we'd love you to come into the chat room and join us in this discussion about grasping opportunities. And I guess, Marney, to start that, we have to be aware of that it is an opportunity that's knocking.
Yes, and some of that is being able to let the universe know that you're open to opportunities and to ask for signs. So, we're given little hints or little signs, and if we haven't worked out what they are and what they're about, we won't notice them, we won't acknowledge them. So it is about having to create your own suite of signs, of angel signs and guidance. All right, so that you have a range of different things that when they show up and an opportunity shows up, they're kind of linked together. So you actually will realize it or highlight it, that it is an opportunity. Because sometimes they're not obvious, are they, opportunities? Sometimes they're things that you say yes to, and then they become this amazing experience.
Sure.
But not everything is an opportunity, and you also need to be able to work out in your own way which is in your highest good as well. Because not everything you get asked to do, you need to say yes to.
Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Like, how many of us feel that if somebody asks us, whether it's to do something or to go somewhere or go to a party even, it's their right to ask us, and it's our then decision is that what we'd like to do, or do we politely decline?
We have a very unique human virtue called choice.
I love it.
So we can choose to engage or we can choose not to. And what you need to be able to do is choose a yes or a no without regret. All right. So if you say yes to something, you go for it because you've made that decision. So honor that decision and go with it. You might be able to tweak it or change it. But if you say no, don't regret the no either. Just say, okay, well, at that time, that wasn't right for me. And that's okay.
Yes.
Because how many of us, the real estate market, I should have bought a house when I was 12. But at 12, you didn't know any better. So there was no point trying to buy a house at 12. Yeah.
I smiled last weekend because I was involved in a group. I am involved in a group, and we were to present in this afternoon at St Kilda Town Hall. Anyway, the week before, a friend had turned up to the rehearsal for the first time in ages. Like me, she had been traveling, and it was really exciting to see her, and a few of us were going, yeah. Oh, you're coming next week? And she said, no. And I said, oh, come on. And others were saying the same thing. Anyway, last Sunday afternoon, she walks in, and it was like, oh, great, you're here. I'm here because you made me feel guilty. And I went,
oh, no.
No, not wearing that one.
No.
Anyway, it doesn't matter why we turn up for something. I believe that sometimes, I turn up to, well, classic example is moving into this village. I came up to catch up with someone, and then bingo, ended up settling on a unit. So, and I certainly didn't expect to do that. And this friend came for whatever reason and thoroughly enjoyed the afternoon. And because there was a spread of food that catered for far more people than was there
was plenty.
All got food to take home. So she had this wonderful meal to take home, and a friend was coming over. It was like perfect.
Yeah. So we have to learn not to blame other people, because that's again, we're going straight back to the opportunity you presented. You said yes or you said no. Just honour that. And sometimes the no could be that circumstance, like someone might have a pre-existing appointment, and then that falls through, or something that was planned doesn't happen, so then they have the opportunity to go. But no, telling someone you came because you were made feel guilty is ridiculous.
Well,
well done you for not accepting it.
Right. Well, the thing is, if we point the finger,
Yeah.
there are 3 fingers coming back at ourselves.
Yeah.
It's really easy
Yeah.
in this day and age. How often do we say, oh, that footpath was, I tripped because the footpath was uneven or whatever. It's very easy to put the blame somewhere else rather than saying, well, I wasn't watching, or I didn't lift my foot, or whatever it might be.
Yeah. The footpath might have contributed to your fall rather than being the only reason.
That's yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And good morning to Elaine.
Hi, Elaine. How are you?
So that's very nice.
Yeah.
Of course, for people who have joined us for the first time, Elaine Ann is on at the end of the month, and she's like Marnie is a kinesiologist and knows all about our bodies. Apart from other things, Marnie, I know you've got a list of a list of talents. Elaine is our numerologist. So
right, yes.
That's really cool. And Anayah's there as well. It's
good, Anayah. How are you?
A little
She'll be coming up to
family.
babysitting the little ones with school holidays coming up. Anayah will be getting to spend some time, I should imagine, with her grandchildren with school holidays.
Well, she will. And the big excitement is that there's another gorgeous granddaughter arriving.
Yes, on the way.
Time. I thought
a little
that this
girl.
morning. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, very big excitement. And so that's another opportunity, isn't it, to share in family joy?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you've been doing that. I mean, I know you're surrounded by family here and you have family living with you and your husband. However, your daughter is way over in England.
I know. Boy, that was a long trip.
Is that the first time you've done it?
I went in 1979 for my, 22-year-old sabbatical that everyone did. But then I hadn't been since. So, yeah, I couldn't remember it being as long. But I think I was a bit more dexterous when I was 22. I could put my feet up the wall and sleep and do those sort of things. So this time it was a little bit more difficult. But, it was good and we enjoyed the trip and it was lovely catching up with my daughter. So it was an opportunity. I had the opportunity to go to an international convention. Now, on its own, I may not have done that. But the bonus was Catherine moved to London, so I could spend a good week or 9 days with her. And then I had the opportunity then to stay with another fellow seroptimists in their beautiful renovated house in Dover. So we got to explore all the bottom end of England as well. So I could have said no and thought about it quite often. And then I thought, no, this would be good. So I decided to have a go.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I smile at myself again. Last Sunday I chose to travel by public transport because down here older people are able to travel for free on the weekend, so it was like, well, let's do this. However, coming home, a girlfriend had said, oh, would you like a lift somewhere? And I said, oh, no, thank you. St Kilda Road's out there. It's fine. I'll just hop on the tram. The thing was, I hopped on the wrong tram, going in the opposite direction to what I wanted.
So you had an adventure.
And it took me a while to realise exactly what I was doing. So I had a bit of a laugh. I rang that girlfriend and ironically I was out near her place.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, I've always wanted to go on a tram, just simply hop on a tram and go to wherever.
Yeah.
Not the best idea to do it on a Sunday night, but never mind.
No.
I've done it.
Yeah. Tick. Don't need that one again.
Oh my goodness, it was so funny.
Yeah.
However, I was very fortunate because it was mild weather. I wasn't standing in the rain, or we've had incredible winds down here. And so it was quite pleasant. I felt very safe. And it was just, fortunately, I had nothing on for the rest of the night as well. So that helped.
So you didn't end up running
laughing.
late.
I thought I was the only one to do that. No. Ah, dear.
So I took the opportunity last week to say yes to an interview. So I got an email from someone I didn't know that said that she's a freelance writer and is writing a story on stress and thought she would like to interview me. And I went, okay, let me think about that. So I Googled her.
Oh, well done.
Well, I thought, I don't know her. So I'll just find out who she is and what she does. And she seemed quite legit. So I went, yeah, why not? So I did it yesterday afternoon. And I said to her, did I answer it? Because I answered something called Source Bottle. Now, Source Bottle is for professionals it's a business, and they have sources, and they have I suppose we're all sources, people looking for stories and people willing to answer the questions for stories. So you have journalists and writers and things like that, and then you have people go, oh yes, I've got an experience like that, I can put my hand up, sort of thing. So I said to her, had I answered a Source Bottle query, because you don't always hear straight away if you answer one. And she said, oh, no. She said, I just, I got the opportunity to write this story and I Googled stress and you came up as an expert. And I went, yes.
That was good feedback.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see. And she found me on LinkedIn, which is a professional page. So I thought, oh, that's good. So I'm quite intrigued because it was just a casual conversation about it. So I'm intrigued to see how she puts the story together. So, but that was an opportunity. You could either take it or not, because others you see coming through your email and, you know, universe says, oh, it's a bit dodgy, don't go there. But this one didn't have that vibe at all. So I was very pleased.
Good. Now, see, listening to the vibe or the intuition, that we've spoken about that many times. But yes, how do we feel?
Yes.
And you were smart.
How does it make you feel? Like, actually get right into it. If it's such an amazing opportunity out of the blue, just add your put your, can I swear? Bullshit. Can I say that? I've said it anyhow. But put your antennas up, your BS antennas up. Okay. So be mindful without being fearful.
Yes.
Right. And by being mindful, you can do that safely as well. So if it's just out of the blue, seems too good to be true, that's kind of an old idiom that kind of says sometimes maybe it is. So do some diligence, do some due diligence and suss it out without clicking on a link or anything like that. Because nowadays you do have to be so mindful about the use of the internet and what we're doing and phones and things like that. So, but don't be fearful of it, be mindful. And as I said before, get a pocket or get a suite, and by a suite I mean a group of angel messages that mean if something shows up and one of these is in the area as well. Like we talk all the time about feathers, you know, the random feather. I found the deepest green feather yesterday when I was walking with my dad. Haven't seen one of this color for so long. It's a tiny little thing, and it was dark green, like a real emerald green, which for me is all about healing and health. And it was kind of saying, yeah, Dad's going through a bit of a challenge, but he's going to be okay, in so much as he's 94. And, you know, he's got longevity, but, you know, that will expire as well. But it was about don't be as concerned about him. So it was kind of one of my messages. So your feathers can be a really good message. Finding those random 5 or 10 cent pieces or a coin of some description. It doesn't need to be an Australian coin. It could be any coin at all. For me, I have totem animals. So sometimes the possum is a window of opportunity. So if possum turns up, he's often the harbinger of opportunities. So colours can be another one. So find out from yourself, what are your intuitive messages that give you the inclination to say yes or to be aware of an opportunity. What are yours, Annette?
Well, isn't it interesting when it comes to travel?
Yeah.
I know that if I find if a friend says yes, they'll come, that's a goer. That's one of, unless I'm traveling alone to visit people overseas, that's different. But if I'm going on a trip, I always do it with someone else.
Yeah.
With a travel buddy, so to speak. Now, Anayah is saying, I found a 10-cent coin yesterday.
Awesome. So what was your opportunity, Anayah? What showed up for you that was a validation of?
We'll have to see. Now, when you were talking about angel messages, Marnie, I thought of Anayah's exciting experience recently, and I know that came through because you mentioned the lady or the company who helped you put your book on audio, and Anayah's had a lovely experience. So her beautiful book of angel messages will shortly be out in audio form. So
and it's so nice doing your own audio book, because someone said to me it was like having money in my ear, and I went, well, some people would find that also awkward.
Yes.
But to hear it,
Anayah's got no clue yet. Well,
okay, well, something will show up, Anayah.
Yeah, when I find a 5-cent piece, I always see that as abundance.
Yeah, but for me, it's a validation as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
I found a random, we were overseas because I went with a girlfriend to travel with, and we were going to visit. I made a visit I had a young niece who passed by suicide, and I went back to where she worked so I could walk her walking tracks for her family, because she passed away in Ireland. So, it was a long way to go for someone. So we brought her home. And this was an opportunity for me. So it was one of the reasons I said yes to the trip, was to be able to walk in Joanne's footsteps and do that for the family. Anyhow, we were talking about it, and we started talking about my mum for some reason. And lo and behold, if there wasn't a 5-cent piece on the ground as soon as we mentioned mum's name. And my girlfriend said, there's no doubt Carmel's with us. But kind of was that, that message straight away that said, yeah, mum's having a great time as well. And I think my girlfriend had a Baileys for her that night. So there's messages out there, and they will change for different reasons. As you said, when you're traveling, it's going with a friend. Yours might be a job opportunity. Well, what's something that might mean? So burnt orange is a colour that can often show up, and that's that unusual shade of orange. It's not the bright orange. It's that golden burnt orange. Often shows up as opportunities. So the colour might be in the logo of someone you're talking, or they might be wearing a scarf, or it just will show up. So take notice of burnt orange when you're making kind of business decisions. Okay. Now, another one for that is if you're starting a new business and you've come up with your logo or something, there'll be a highlight colour on your logo. It won't be the whole colour. It'll just be something that you've put in there as a highlight. That highlight is another angel message for you.
Right.
It'll say to you that that's aligned with your vision for your logo or your business. Right. And Elaine would know numbers turn up. Your 66s and your 75s and your anythings. Because they mean something to you.
I always take notice of triple, or especially in the time. It's amazing how many times a message will come through at either 11 or 111.
111 or something.
2. It's like, oh my goodness, yeah.
And nowadays the numbers are written into car plates as well, like number plates. So you might see the word cat, but it's got a 4 in it, and you'll notice it. So they're reasons for, and often they're just someone saying hi. So if you've got a loved one who's passed over and it's connected to them somewhere, they're just saying, hi, how are you? What a lovely way to embrace that.
Yes.
So work out your messages, intuit what they are. And if you're having any difficulty, contact one of us, because we'd be able to sit and work it out with you as to what your guides and angels are sending you as a form of message.
Talking about messages, I read this story online recently where a lady, I think it might have been her father, it was somebody very close to her, had poo-barred, there was no afterlife, nothing, you passed over, that was it. You're in the ground or you're around in ash or whatever. Anyway, I think she must have had a reading, and he came through loud and clear. You were right.
Yes.
And he'd met up with his wife and, was having a lovely, lovely time. And I thought, that was a really lovely story.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Well, I know one of my recent sprays. So I make emotional healing mists, so you would know, and I've made 2 in recent times. And one is Manifest Your Dreams, and that's where it helps you to capture your dreams and goals and inspirations and connect with them. So that is about identifying what they are. So if you identify it, you can find it. So that's another opportunity. But the other one was Soul Imprints, and I made that in reference to the number of my close friends who've lost a fur baby, pardon me, and it's to remind them that the memories that they made with that fur baby, it was initially for fur babies, but I have actually sold a couple to people who've lost family as well. But it was to remember the memories and take them out and put them on show and enjoy the times you had with them. And you still feel grief at the passing, but it's a way of knowing that those memories have been given to you as a gift from a previous time to help you in your current time or the future time when you really need it. All right. And that's another, opportunity is looking at how that can help you down the track.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And as you mentioned, fur babies, but also close family. I mean, how wonderful that you were able to walk in your...
I know. Yeah.
That was very, very special.
It was special because I went to visit Joanne, and she worked at a hospital called Cherry Blossom Hospital in Dublin, which is where we were in Dublin. So we took that opportunity. And my girlfriend has recently found out some of her old family history and found out that she had a great uncle who was in one of the war graves in Arras in France.
Yes.
Arras, I think it was Arras. And so when we were in Dover, the people we were staying with gave us the opportunity, or gave her the opportunity, to go across in the ferry, and we found the war grave, and his was in the Cherry Dump War Cemetery, and that word cherry kind of was in both places. It was really quite unusual. We found it very, very interesting that word showed up both times.
Yes.
So it was two trackings, and both of them were for family on different sides, but the word cherry was the uniting word.
Anayah was passing on her condolences to you too, Marnie.
Oh, thank you. It was a long time ago, but it was nice to visit. It was nice to trace her footsteps, and I took lots of photos because it's an old hospital that was a rehabilitation kind of hospital, and it's now partially nursing home as well. And a lot of the trees that I took photos of and stuff would have been a lot smaller when Joanne was there. And we went looking for, they apparently had a memorial seat in her honour, and it has long since deteriorated. But where it was this beautiful garden outside this little unit where she worked that had like this little stone bridge and everything. And whilst we were there, the wind picked up all the dandelion flowers and was spinning them around. It was just magical. It was so connected to everything.
Right. Did you feel that was her doing that?
I felt it was, if not her, it was the universe saying she's at peace.
Right.
And this hopefully will give her mum some closure or some peace, because I took photos of my feet walking on the corridors of the place where she worked and stuff. So I do feel it was forming a closure of the tragic circumstances. The taxi driver even took us down the street where she lived, so he stopped in the middle of all this traffic so I could take a photo of, because he lived over a butcher shop. So again, opportunities rose and you take them, because I would have regretted not taking the opportunity to go out and have a look. So
it's interesting how I do believe we are where we're meant to be. And sometimes we might not have any intention of going into a particular place or being somewhere. And yet then we find ourselves there and go, oh, my goodness, yes. You discover why you're there.
Yeah. We had a wonderful time. And it was amazing at the convention. Like, there was 1,700 passionate seroptimists in one room.
Wow.
Which was really awe-inspiring as well, with everyone with similar goals and aspirations and care and service. Some ladies there were giving 50 and 60 years service to the organisation. which is a phenomenal dedication.
Incredible. Now, Anayah has said that is so beautiful, Marnie. You are such an incredibly thoughtful person, and you have a way of bringing peace and such beautifully simple beautifully simple ways.
Thank you, Anayah. It was easy to do.
Yeah. Oh, well done.
Mm.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, opportunities.
Love them.
Well, I'm just thinking, we have an opportunity this morning because we have mentioned lots of things and we've spoken about opportunities. Now we have an opportunity to say thank you, everybody, and give ourselves some time and give other people some time, because I do believe that we've passed on our message this morning.
Yeah.
Hello, Julie Kiss. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Julie.
Yes. So what do you think, Marnie?
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, what people need to do, so if anyone's listening either now or in the future, just try and isolate 3, make it 3, because that's an easier task, 3 things that might often happen when you've said yes to an opportunity as a message. And if you can identify those 3 things, it then helps you, because it'll be around, it'll just turn up when this opportunity arises. And the other big pivotal thing, and that we both spoke about, was it is okay to say no.
Yes.
Otherwise, you stretch yourself too far and too often at times.
Yes, yes. And I think we need reminders. And sometimes it's our body, sadly, that reminds us, hey, you're doing too much.
or hindsight that says, God, I knew I shouldn't have said yes to that. A couple of the parameters I use at times when I'm asked to come to a trade show, my very first question is it inside? Because I don't do tents. I don't like putting tents up. And I don't overly enjoy sitting in a hot sun in a tent at a table.
Right.
So one of my parameters is it undercover? If it's undercover, I'll think about it. Is it fairly close to where I live and work? Because, it has to be reasonably easy to get there. And do I like the people is a big one.
That is a good one.
Do I like the environment of where I'm going into? And if I get any vibe at all that says, I might run across X, Y, and Z, or, gee, do I really need to do this? I'll say no.
That's
thank
a great
them
example.
and just say no, thank you.
Yes, of looking for the 3. The 3 yes. Do I want to do this?
Yeah.
Now, Julie Kiss is saying, love all your learning lessons. And Anayah, thank you both so much. I have thoroughly enjoyed today with you both and feel nurtured and nourished by you both. Isn't that beautiful?
She's delightful, yes. I look forward to hearing your audiobook, Anayah.
Yes. Yes. It's very, very special.
Yeah.
As we all are, and we need to acknowledge our own talents and well-being, and let's share the love and goodwill. It's been a pleasure, Marnie. It's been a pleasure having everybody here with the audience. So thank you. And
my pleasure as well.
Next week, and I look forward to next month, Marnie.
Yes, October. Can you believe it? Will be October.
No.
I know. Unbelievable.
And
daylight saving time probably as well. Is that right?
All right.
I say daylight saving time as well next.
It is, yes. So that changes for you,
right.
Lovely lady.
All
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, whether it be morning, noon, or night.